What's up, guys? Well, the rain is finally passed and we're on to some sunshine here, which is awesome. I can finally start to get caught up, which is nice. Show you guys real quick. You guys have seen this property. I've mowed it in a past video. It's a pretty big one. This is just the front yard here. And then you go up the driveway out by the road, there's another part. There's a side part way over there, there's the front there, and then back, and goes all the way around. Anyway, so I want to show you guys this here. This is my camera, and that is a clip mount that I just did that last video with. Clip, and it clips right on the front of my hat, and that's how I filmed that last one. But I got this with the I don't know, I guess it's called a monopole, which a bunch of you guys already have, but I guess you could call it a selfie stick. It's here and it extends way out. I got this, I got that clip on that camera. See if I brought the other one or not. I don't think I did. But there's another hat clip that just slides over, and then there's also a tripod. I got them all together on Amazon Prime. I got it for it was like 17 bucks or something for all of them. And they weren't the knockoff version either. They all said GoPro right on them. That's what said on the package when I got it. But yeah, so let's do some more filming. It's nice, sun's shining, birds are chirping. Let's make it happen. Rain, 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 and more rain. Seems like that's the way it is the last couple weeks. Playing catch up every day, but at least the grass is growing, which is a good thing. So today is my messed up hair. I just woke up and looks like it's another maintenance day. So today the plan is the X mark. I have one hydro line that goes from the wheel motor, which, hold on a second. Bouncing you guys all around, sorry. Can't really see, it's kind of dark. I don't have any lights on here right now. But the wheel motor right there, or the hydro pump right there, goes down to the wheel motor. One of the lines is a real small leak. I don't know why I'm putting it down there, you guys can't even see that. Anyway, there's a small leak in that line, so I ordered a new one, and I'm going to change that line out today and then bleed the air out of this system. My Ferris walk behind has two reservoirs on it, plastic reservoirs that are both leaking because the threads, I'll turn you guys around. You can look at my ugly mug for a minute. Anyway, the two hydro lines, or the two hydro reservoirs on the walk behind Ferris, the threads with a cap screw on are they have finally, years later, it's an older hydro mower, thing works amazing, that's why I won't get rid of it, but the threads with a cap screw on are leaking. They've been leaking for a little bit. The threads are just worn out and the caps don't screw on tight like they should. So I ordered two of those, 31 bucks a piece for them things. Can't believe they charge so much for plastic reservoirs, but anyway. So those came in, and I have those. So I got to change those out today on that and bleed the air out of that. What else is on the list for today? I got to scrape bolt decks in the mowers. I pressure washed them Friday after I got done mowing. I always pressure wash all my mowers, and then I pressure wash my weed whackers. I don't know if you guys can see, but you know, on weed whackers, the whole shaft all the way up gets coated with grass, and then the orange parts, they get coated with grass and they turn an ugly green color. So I pressure wash those at the end of every week. I just lay them on the ground, hit them with the pressure washer with a light pressure nozzle, and clean those up. But anyway, so I washed all the mowers Friday after I got done mowing, like I always do at the end of the week. Actually, I did it Saturday because I had to mow into the weekend this past week because of rain again. But anyway, so I didn't scrape the decks or sharpen the blades. I was exhausted by the time the week was over last week, so I got to do that. What else do I have to do today? It's a long list, I know. Oh, I ordered new tires for the new Husqvarna. I'm gonna put wider tires on it. It's still gonna keep the frame of it smaller, and small enough so that I can get into areas, because the new tires don't come out wider than the deck. But I ordered the same width tires that go on the that are on the X-Mark Zero. I don't know. I'll get a better shot of it in a little bit when I start to clean out this garage, because it's a mess. And when I start working on stuff, I'm gonna make another video in a minute, and you'll see what I mean. The tires that come on it they're thin tires, but I ordered wider ones just like the X-Mark. And I'm gonna try something here. I'm using this new monopole today, which I've never used before, and I have the camera on that, obviously, so I'm messing around with that with the camera on it right now. Well, flipped you guys up, but bear with me, guys. Alright, that's kind of funky. But anyway, so I ordered new tires for that, so I'm going to put those on today when they come in. They're out for delivery right now. I just checked the tracking on it, so they'll be in today. So I'm going to get those ordered, and get those when they get in. I'm going to pull the tires off those rims over there and put the new ones on. And then I'm going to have to re-level that deck, because the tires are bigger now, so the deck's not going to sit right, which is no big deal. It's real easy to level the deck on that Zero. So we got the hydro line on the X-Mark, the hydro reservoirs on the Ferris, bleed both of them out, scrape the decks on both the Zeros, sharpen the blades on both the Zeros, new tires on the Husqvarna. I got to sharpen the blade on the push mower. That hasn't been done in a couple weeks, but it doesn't get used a whole lot, so it's not too bad, but I'll give it a sharpen since I got time today for that. I have to pull the front tire on the passenger side off the dually, because that wheel bearing is making noises, and I'm going to repack those bearings if they're okay and put it back together. If not, I'm going to put new bearings in it, repack them, put it back together. What else do I have to do today? There's a whole list of stuff. But anyway, so making the best out of a rain day, getting maintenance done, getting all this stuff done, taken care of, and that's going to be the day. So that's the video you guys are going to get today. I haven't been making a whole ton of videos lately because I've been so busy. It's just insane to try to keep up with everything and then set cameras up. And I did make a video for you guys the other day. I was talking about the new head clip that I got along with this monopole and a tripod. It all came together, and it was like a multi-piece kit that I ordered. And I recorded a bunch actually with that piece on it. Clips right onto my hat. And apparently I had the camera pointed at the wrong angle, so it pointed literally right at the ground the whole time I recorded. So that video was a wash. I deleted that. I was going to try to make sure I get a video up each week, at least one video, to show you guys different stuff that I'm doing. And trying to think of something to call it. I wanna have something different. Seems like last year, Geek to Freak, Greg did he did videos every week, and what the heck did he call them last year? My Week in Lawn Care or something like that. And then all of a sudden everybody on YouTube was calling their videos My Week in Lawn Care. And this year he started calling it the Lawn Care Lifestyle, and then everybody started calling their videos the Lawn Care Lifestyle. So I want to try to make them something different. I don't know. I just usually put random names up, but we'll see how that goes. And I hope everybody else that needs rain is getting the rain, and those that have had enough rain, I hope they get some dry days so you guys can keep rolling along. But yeah, I'll compile a few videos. I'll make a few different videos today of different stuff that I'm doing here and how I'm doing it, and I'll compile it together in one video. And hopefully I'll get this up today, and hopefully I'll get all this stuff done today, and then I'll get the video up, and we'll go from there. And yeah, we'll go from there and see what happens then. Alright guys, stay tuned. Alright guys, well, let's see, the X mark is up in the air. Husqvarna is up in the air. This is what I'll show you guys I was talking about. See how wide those tires are? Okay, those tires are, let's see here, where can I find the size? You probably can't see it there, but they are 20 by 10-8. Okay, now the Husqvarna, that's how small those tires are. And these ones, if I remember correctly, it's hard to get around this garage here, you probably can't see that, but those are 18 by 9.5-8. So what I did is I ordered the same exact tires for the Husqvarna as I did for the X mark. So these tires on the X mark are technically what the hell is it? See, now I just forgot. Okay, the tires on the X mark are 2 inches wider by a 1/2 inch taller. So I've already figured it out, and the ones on the Husqvarna, if I put the ones on there that are 20 inches wider that I ordered, they're not going to stick out further than the deck. They're not going to hit anything inside. So they will be a 1/2 inch taller, which means I got to adjust that deck, because as soon as I put them on there, the deck's not going to sit in the same places as it does right now. But yeah, so now it is time to scrape these decks out and look at this nastiness. Okay, let me try to get you guys a good picture. That's what that deck looks like. And that's because, and this almost never happens, I don't ever let them get like this, but from all the rain we had all week and how nasty everything was, we had a lot of wet stuff, a lot of thick stuff we were mowing, and instead of scraping the decks out like I should have, I put these mowers into the garage for the weekend, and now I'm coming back to them to scrape them out. So that's why you see all that white shit in there, which is like a form of mold. And that's what the grass, man, this camera mount does not like me, but that's what the grass does when it sits and it's damp and it sits into a garage all weekend. Here is underneath the Husqvarna. Not quite as bad because stuff shoots out of this deck 10 times better than it does the X mark, but it still has its fair amount in there, and it's creating that moldy shit on there. And that's what happens when you don't scrape your decks out and you let them sit for the weekend. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get them blades off there, make it much easier to scrape the deck. Get the blades off there, scrape the decks, and then I'm going to get them blades sharpened. I'll show you real quick. See this? That's what I use to take my blades off. It's a rigid. I bought it in a kit. They make these in Milwaukee. They make them in DeWalt. They make all different ones. I bought these rigids a few years ago, and they have been flawless. Never had a problem. This is just a mini impact. And what I did a while ago is I go to Harbor Freight, and you get these. And they're very cheap. And what I do is I just take one of these, and it goes right in the end, snaps in, and I can put any socket on that I want. And it's a mini impact. And then, see, everything is such a mess up here. So, that's what I do. I put those on there, and or I put that on there, put the socket on there, and I take them, takes the bolts right out of these decks, out of the blades. So I'll get them off there, and then I'll show you. There's my bench grinder over there. That's what I sharpen all my blades on, and I'll show you guys that in a second. Alright guys, so here's the blades. These are the ones off the Husqvarna. These are the ones off the X mark. They're all gator blades. I try to bag as little as possible, so I mulch up everything I can. I have high lift blades for all the mowers. Most of my mowers, that's what came on them. And actually the Husqvarna didn't just come with high lift, it came with super high lift, which I didn't even know existed until I looked them up and seen that there's a difference. But anyway, so The ones for the Husqvarna are much wider than the ones for the Gator. These ones I just bought, obviously, like a month ago or so. Not even, like two weeks ago, a little over 2 weeks ago. Because I bought the Husqvarna a month ago, so yeah, about 2 weeks ago those came in. These Gators for this Exmark I bought last year. Now, if you'll notice on these blades, a couple other people made videos about this, and I'm just going to clarify my point of view up on this. These blades here, see that part there? That's your cutting width on the blade. Now, it's about, I don't know, about 1/4 of an inch or something. But anyway, what I used to do is just sharpen the tip of it. Okay, I've used a hand grinder a long time ago, putting them in the vise. You know, you can put them in the vise like this and run up and down the side, which is very effective as long as you got a steady hand, you follow that angle, you know, that's fine. I know a lot of people still do it to this day. They've been in business a long time, they still do it. I choose to do it on this grinder right here. It's just easier for me. And it's much faster. I usually, like today, I got a little extra time obviously because of this rain, but I usually don't have the time to stick it in there, sharpen it, undo the vise, flip it around, do the other side. I usually don't have that kind of time, so it's much quicker for me to do it that way. But back to what I was saying, I was just sharpening the tip, and it felt like a razor blade, like you could shave your face with it, but that's all it was. Well, with a lot of the thick fescue grass around here, a lot of lawns are real thick around here. A lot of lawns around here just have more weeds than they do grass. Thicker lawns, wetter lawns, lawns with a lot of weeds on them, that stuff will dull your blades out quicker than anything. But even that considered, I was sharpening my blades every day, which I definitely should not have had to do. I was averaging like 15 lawns a day, something like that, 15, 18 lawns a day, and they should have lasted a few days, at least more than a day, and they weren't. So I knew I had to figure something out, figure out what I was doing wrong and how to fix it, and especially now I am, I don't know, between 20 and 24 lawns a day, I think, is what I'm averaging this year. So these blades gotta last longer, you know. If I'm only getting 25 lawns out of it, by the time I get to that last couple lawns, guess what they're gonna look like. So anyway, and plus you gotta, you know, double cut, triple cut stuff just because it's not cutting everything on the first pass, even if you slow down. Anyway, so this 1/4 inch I was telling you about, they say that there is I'm trying to remember exactly so I don't give you guys the wrong information, but it's either a 30 or a 35 degree angle is what that's set at from the factory. Every blade, that's what they're all set at. That's what they come at. And you can actually buy blade sharpeners, and they go anywhere from $250 up to, like, I've seen them up to like $1,800, and who knows, they could be more than that. But anyway, I just don't, I have no problem sharpening them this way, so I really don't see the point in spending the money on one of those. Would it make my life easier? Probably. I just don't see justifying that kind of purchase when this is working just fine for me. Now, if I ran like 5 trucks and 5 crews every day mowing, then yeah, it would definitely be worth it, but just not now. So anyway, so what I realized, I tried one day, I don't know why, maybe maybe a light bulb went off in my head, who the hell knows. But I tried just following that angle. I set the plate right here on the grinder. I bent it up to a 35, it was, like I said, I can't remember again, 30 or 35 degree angle, and I followed that groove and sharpened the blade. Instead of just sharpening the tip, I kept the same angle all the way down, and I had a lot of grinding off to do because I had just rounded the end, just sharpened the tip for so long. It completely changed that overall angle. So I ground it down, went over it, and I got it to where it's a perfect angle right to the tip, from the edge right here all the way up to the tip. And I was getting 3 days out of these blades, depending on what I was cutting and time of year. Sometimes I'd get a week out of them and sharpen them once a week. So that was my problem. That was the issue, and I've been sharpening them that way ever since. Top Notch Lawns made a video on this. He was experiencing the same problem, and he just didn't know either, just like I didn't know. things you learn, and you know, things that other people just don't tell you, they overlook it. A lot of people that already know this, they probably just assume that everybody knows. So I've never seen a video on it, and I've never had anybody tell me. So one of the things you figure out on your own, and hopefully a bunch of you guys that don't know this as well, like myself and Brian from Top Notch, we didn't know. You know, I figured out a few years ago, and I seen his video, and apparently he didn't know, but I never even thought, hey, mention something to the rest of these guys, they may not know. I just figured like Brian and, you know, Greg and Animal, all them guys already knew, and so I never said anything. And some guys don't even sharpen their own blades, so I never thought about it. But anyway, so hopefully any of you other guys that don't know, you will see this and you will figure it out, or you will you'll get the info now. Alright, but anyway, so I'm just gonna try to set this camera up on this tripod and do a little recording here of me grinding this blade. This thing has moved since, so, and I just haven't had the time to get it back to the angle I wanted at, so I kind of just do it by eye now. And I know that I gotta follow that angle the whole time, so I can get it down. And once you do it a few times, you'll get it down too. Like I said, guys do it with hand grinders, so they get it down as well. But yeah, all right guys, let's see if I can set this up for you. Guys, you never want to, okay, see if I can show this to you. I got a nice sharp edge there now. I followed the whole edge all the way down. You never want to sharpen the back side of the blade. A lot of people run it off, like if they have some nicks and grooves in the blade, they'll run it off and try to get them out of there. You never want to sharpen that back side, okay? Give a little bit more on here, and this one will be good on the side. see I had to take a lot more off that side than the other side. There were some nicks in here that we must have hit something with it. Even sticks, thick branches, stuff like that will do that. So now I'm going to throw it on my, I'm going to check the balance on it, and I'm probably going to have to take more off the other side now to even that out. Alright guys, look at that mess. That is what I just scraped out of the X mark. Okay, now it still needs to be cleaned out the rest of the way, but as you can see, all the clumps are gone. I got the heavy thick stuff out of there. Then now I'll clean it out the rest of the way. What I do is I get on there with a little wire brush in my hand and the air gun off the compressor, and I just scrape over some stuff while I'm hit it with the air gun. Cleans that stuff right out of there. But this is that will come out. That's what come out, and there is no excuse for that. Like I said, we had a rough week with the rain, the weather, and we mowed into the weekend, and by the time I got done I was just exhausted and I didn't do it. I washed the mowers up and put them away and figured I'd get to this Monday, because I had a family thing I had to go to on Sunday, and I should have just done it while I had them out there. Three reasons. There may be more, and who knows, I'm sure somebody will comment something, and if you know more, then by all means put them on there so people know. Throw it in the comments. But three main reasons why you need to keep your decks great. Okay, don't let that stuff build up in there, especially if it's wet, moist stuff. Like this crap I just took out of here, it's wet, it's like moist, it stinks, it's nasty. But laying on the ground here, but this is three main reasons why you need to get that stuff out of there. One, the first thing you'll notice right off the bat, one, it'll cut your airflow right down. I'm sure you guys notice, you look up underneath these decks, look under a few different ones, check out a couple different mowers, you'll notice that they're designed differently underneath. The way the baffles are, the way the steel plates go, the way they're rounded. Decks are designed differently, but they're designed the way they are for optimal airflow, to shoot that stuff out of the deck so it doesn't build up in there. If it's wet, it's going to build in there anyway, but you'll notice different decks will reduce the amount that it builds up in there because just the way they're designed. Like the Husqvarna, I won't have half as much under there. Well, I showed you guys, I don't have half as much under there as I have under the X mark, and it's just because it's a better deck design. It just shoots it out of there better. I'm using the same blades on both of them. But yeah, so it'll cut your airflow right down if you don't get it out of there. Second thing, it will rot your decks out. You leave that moist grass packed in there and you don't clean it out and it just sits in there. Think about it. It's sitting there packed tight against steel. I don't care if your deck is painted, if it's powder coated, if it's whatever, it's going to rot your deck out. Grass is just horrible for rotting things out. It's just the moisture that it holds, and it just keeps it in there and packs in there. Think about, you park a car over grass and you leave it there for any length of time, I'm talking like a few months, it'll rot out all the gas lines and all the brake lines. I see people that have cars for sale on the side of the road all the time, and they leave them in grass and they sit there forever. And I'm just thinking, the longer that car sits there, the worse it's going to be. Grass just holds that moisture. But anyway, so to rot your deck out, that's the second thing. Third thing is, it packs around them spindles. It holds the heat in them spindles. Think about how fast them spindles are turning with your blades on there. They're going to get hot, especially when you're out mowing in hot weather. They're going to heat up. That airflow in there will help to keep them cool to an extent. But if you keep that grass packed on them spindles, so you can't even see the shape of the spindle, there's so much grass packed around them, it holds the heat in there. It doesn't allow the air from the blades that you're spinning around, it doesn't allow the airflow to keep hitting it to keep them cooled down. So you're heating them spindles up. I've had a few times over the years where, you know, the decks didn't get cleaned when they should have been, and the stuff just packs on there. And I notice each week when I do maintenance on the mowers and grease them, those weeks I'll put a lot more grease inside them spindles. You know, you get a couple pumps in them to keep them greased every week. Well, I'll be up to 10 pumps, 15 pumps of grease I'm putting in each one of them spindles, just because it's heating them up, and it heats them up, it destroys that grease in there. I know greases, a lot of different greases are rated for different heat ratings, but I don't care. You take a small little spindle like that that's only a few inches around diameter, and you put serious heat on there and never allow it to cool down lawn after lawn after lawn, and it's already 80, 90 degrees outside plus, yeah, I don't care what that grease is rated for.
you're going to heat that stuff up. And then optimally, you got metal on metal, heating it up. It's gone. It's going to destroy it. It'll warp it. It'll just destroy spindles. So you will start burning up spindles if you don't keep them things cleaned off so the air can get to them, so they stay a little bit cooler. Spindles are extremely expensive. I know on my Ferris hydro walk behind, I got 3 spindles, ordered them off eBay for $100. Wasn't bad at all. The standard, when I had to replace spindles on them, cost me $115 per spindle. And, you know, so that's 3 of them. Do the math. So anything you guys can do to help keep them cool, do it. Something as easy as scraping your deck, do it. And keep them decks scraped up.
Alright guys, I was going to record this and then I started doing it and I was just about done and I was thinking, damn it, I forgot to grab the camera. Anyway, so there's the new hydro line on. That's it right there. Just screws right under there. And then, of course, took the tire off and it comes right through this hole. Screws on right to there. Nice and easy. I unscrewed it, put a drip pan under it for any fluid that would come out, which a very little bit did come out. Not too much at all. Let's see here. Here's the old one. It's all caked with crap. It's been leaking for a while, but never leaked that much. I just didn't like it, so we're changing it. So anyway, the fluid went down just a little bit, not much at all. For any guys that want to know, it was a 7/8. 7/8 wrench is what the ends of that took. I'm going to start it up now and have to brake on. I'll start it up and we'll see what happens. See if that wheel spins fine. I'll make sure nothing's leaking. So, I think we're alright. We zoom this back. We're just a hair low on the hydro fluid there, which is no big deal. I'll top that off. And like I said, no big deal. Hydro fluid just went down a hair bit. I'll top that off. Watch over the next couple days. Most of the air should just settle right out of it anyway. It's not like I lost a lot, and I did the line pretty quick, so I didn't have a chance to lose a lot. And pretty much all that little bit that dropped down is what's filling up that new line with fluid. But yeah, I'll top it off, and then it should be fine after that. Just keep an eye on it over the next couple days of using it, mowing, and if it drops down a little more, top it off a little more. But it'll that air rises up on its own. The reservoir sits up higher than the whole system, so gravity will bring the air up more. There's ways of bleeding them out. You can move the controls back and forth a bunch of times, and that'll help push the air out, but it wasn't much. I'm not too concerned about it. So that's the hydro line, and I got the deck scraped on the other ones, got the blade sharpened and put back on, got them all greased up. So now it's time to mess with the hydro reservoirs on the Ferris, and hopefully my new tires will get here. I can break these tires down that are on the Husqvarna, and yeah, I'll show you guys how I do that. I got a pretty cool tool for doing that. Makes it real easy. Alright guys, so here's my Ferris. This is my Ferris Hydro Walk dual drive 48. She's an old girl, but This thing will lay stripes like there's no tomorrow, and it cuts flawlessly. This thing is awesome. The only thing I don't like about it is, you know, it's a fixed deck and I can change the height by moving the spacers, but it's, you know, that's a pain in the butt, especially when you're out mowing. So not being able to move the deck is the reason I don't use it as much anymore. I do have a property that has a hill that's about 80 foot wide by about 80 to 90 foot tall, and the hill is at such an extreme slope. It's like that, and the only way to mow it is to go side by side, not up and down. You go side by side, and you have to do it with a walk behind. These zeros will not hold that hill. They'll roll right over, slide down the hill. If they don't roll over, the stander, I tried it, it wasn't going to do the same thing. The zeros and the standards will go up the hill, but then coming down it, you're flying down it. If you try to pull back a little bit on the hydros, you leave skid marks down it. So the only way to do it's with this. So I mainly keep this thing for just that one property. But I've put a lot into it. I have brand new tires for the front. I haven't put on yet. I've had them for like a year and a half and just haven't done it. I did put brand new tires on the back. It had a single wheel Velky on when I got it. I put a 2-wheel Velky on it. I put an hour meter on it, which is right there. I replaced, this is to engage the hydro, old school. But I replaced that because that took a crap this year on it. I replaced all the hand grips. What else did I do? I put that on the front of the exhaust because there wasn't one on there when I got it, and see that there? I got a bunch of dead grass up there one day and it started on fire. So yeah, all the heat was blown straight down. So I got blown straight out. It's been fine ever since. I put all brand new hydro lines on it last year. It's got brand new belts, brand new hydro filters. It takes 2 of them. Gator blades on it, like I put on everything. And so that's the 2 hydro reservoirs I was talking about. See all the crap caked up on them? These lids screw on. Well, they screw tight and then they snap loose again. The threads are stripped out on them. They're just old. So here's the 2 new ones that will go on. They just bolt right on, and then the feed line comes out the bottom, goes to the hydros, and then up there's a return line. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do today. Like I said, at the beginning of the year I replaced some hydro lines, and those reservoirs weren't leaking then, and they just gradually started. So replace those out today, get this thing cleaned up, and yeah, so that's that. But nice and simple. All you gotta do, I'm just gonna take a pair of pliers I have, and the needle nose pliers, I have pieces of hose that I have over the ends of them and over the teeth of them, and I just put them on there and clamp them off. I'll do that on both, and then change it out, put the new line on, fill it up with fluid, let the fluid get in the line, then pull the clamp off, and then that way I shouldn't get any air in the system, and I shouldn't have a problem. This one's super easy to bleed out anyway. With these walk behinds, all you do, it's kind of the same as the zero. You jack up the back end, and so the tires are off the ground, and then you just move the control lever for right here, and just move it forward, back, forward, back. You do it slow, do it about 10-12 times, and you'll see air start bubbling up in the reservoirs, and that's how you bleed it out. So it should be nice and simple. That's about it. So this is my Ferris. This is my old girl. And a lot of people say get a new one, but like I said, I have one lawn I use this on. Sometimes I'll take it for the day and just run it for the day just because it's fun to ride. I miss the walk behinds. I used to have nothing but walk behinds. So sometimes I'll just take it for the day and just run this all day instead of one of the other zeros. But yeah, for as little as I need it, it's pointless to go buy a new one. So yeah, she's a champ. Runs great. Alright guys, real quick, I changed those out. Real simple. It's just 2 bolts on either side. You can see them there. You got one there and one right there on each side. One on each side for both of them. I blew it all off with the blowgun. I do that to all my mowers at least once a week. I'll blow the engine all off. Anything that gets caked up on the engine, the hydro motors, the hydro
pumps, the wheel motors, everything. I blow them all off because them things get grass and everything caked on them, and it's just like I was explaining to you with the spindles underneath the deck. If stuff gets caked up on them, they get hotter and hotter and they can't stay cool. So you know, it's gonna get hot, obviously. The engine's gonna get hot, everything's gonna get hot, but a lot of things, they have fins on them, like, I don't know, see, you can really see in there. I can pull this thing apart, but see what I mean by there's fins down there, little tabs that stick up. Your engine has fins on it. See if I can get you a view of that. Not really back here, but there's fins, and what they're called, they're on engines, they're on hydro pumps, they're on everything, and they're called cooling fins. You'll find them on parts on your car too. And what they're for is they're to dissipate the heat, to help keep things cooler. I mean, obviously your engine's going to get hot, it's running, but things like that will help you keep them cooler. So that's you want to keep those things free of any oil that builds up, any grease that builds up, any grass, anything like that. So you know, you can get yourself a cheap little compressor if you guys don't have a bigger one. You get a cheap little compressor from Walmart. I think you can even get them from Harbor Freight. You can get them anywhere, and then just get yourself a blowgun. And that's all I got. I got this blowgun right here. This one extends out, but you can get short ones. Yeah, another one. So right there, there's another one, an orange one hanging there. You can get all different ones, and just hook it up to the compressor and blow that stuff off once a week. Keep them engines cool, keep them hydros cool. Just blow all that crap off there. Just one more thing to help extend the life of your equipment, and this stuff's expensive. But any of you guys wondering if you have an older model like this one, here is, you don't really need my name, you don't care, 5021491. That's the part number for these. Okay, if you guys were looking, I couldn't find them. I looked all over on eBay and Amazon, where I order 90% of my stuff. I went to a local Ferris dealer, and he was able to order them for me. But that's the part number, 5021491, for those things if you need them. But yeah, so you know, everything's a little different. There's that back there, the Husqvarna. The hydros on that are electronically controlled. There is no hydro reservoir. There's no fluid to flush out, no filters. They're all electronically controlled. This one here, the X Mark, still has the tag on it. It takes, it says Mobile 1 1550 synthetic is what that hydro takes. The manual for this Ferris calls for straight 30 weight. I know some guys run 10W30, you know, you know, run whatever you want, but I'm just telling you what my manuals call for. And then the Bunton hydro walk behind I used to have, that one took 2050 motor oil is what the hydro called for in the manual on that one. So you know, a lot of things are different from different mowers, different hydro units. Just try to look it up and see what they call for. You know, I've looked up these before that I wasn't sure, and you go into like the lawnmower forums and stuff like that, and there's 100 different people on there saying, I use this, I never had a problem, I use this, I use that. I try to look right through the manual and I find it, and or you can Google the manual online and find them usually, and it'll tell you what it is. You'll find sites that want you to pay for those manuals, but if you look long enough, you can usually find a manual for free online. You just scan through it, and I mean, this one's old. I think this mower's a 94. I want to say, I can't remember. I looked up before, 94 or something like that, and I was able to find a manual for this online. So yeah, so that's the thing. Those are done. Oh, the UPS guy just stopped by. There's the new tires. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to them yet today. The sun is out. It is hot. And this stuff's drying up. I think I'm going to go try to round up the boys and see if we can get some mowing done today.